everybody. Well, there's going to be no intro like we do. Matt's going to add it in. So we're going to kick off and get this show on the road here because we do have a double show today. So first of all, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Stogie 411. And you probably can't see because we have no video yet, but on the phone live we have Nish Patel. Nish, how's it going, buddy?
Going great. Just lit up my cigar, enjoying it.
Nice. And Nish just got off the plane, so you guys know he just flew in from Texas and was nice enough to sit in with us and spend the next 45 minutes to an hour hanging out with us. So, Nish, we really appreciate you taking the time out.
Oh, no problem. I wouldn't miss it.
All right.
You guys in the chat channel, be nice to him because he's been on a plane a long time today.
I can handle it.
All right. Well, Nish, why don't you start off like we always start off? Why don't you tell everybody, I'm sure they know about you, but just in case there's somebody who doesn't, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. I'm there. I'm rock. So I oversee along with Dave, who's
I think we're having some audio problems with Nish here.
Yeah.
He's cutting in and out. We'll have to see. Maybe it's his.
You want me to speak up a little bit louder, or?
Yeah, I don't think it's just speaking, Nish. I think it's a signal wherever you are is breaking up on your cell phone.
Hang on 1 second. Tell me if this is good. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that does sound better.
All right.
Okay, they say, Mikey, you're a little low on your end. All right, Nish, well, sorry for this, but why don't you go ahead and start back over there and tell us a little bit about yourself because we didn't get any of that.
I'm, as for those of you guys that don't know, I'm Rocky's brother. We're about 3 years apart, and I am the executive vice president over at Rocky Patel Premium Cigars. I help Dave Bullock with sales. He's our VP of sales, and my cousin Nimish, who has a cigar out, I help him with production, so I oversee everything with Rocky. And for the last 3 years, I've been going around doing events, just like brother does, and working with our sales rep out there, really enjoying it. And the last 2 years, I actually have started doing more events than Rocky. So going out there, meeting people. I've been concentrating a lot more in the Southeast, the South, and the Midwest. Rocky seems to go to New York quite a bit, especially because he's up in Washington now, fighting that FDA legislation. I've been in the industry about 10 years now. Love it. Love the people. And what better job to have? You know, you get to meet some great people, smoke cigars, and have some fun.
Yeah, it is. You do have a great job from the sounds of it.
It is tiring, though.
It is. Well, I mean, if you're traveling a lot, I agree with you. I could see how it's tiring. But, boy, you get to sit back, meet a lot of nice people in the same industry that you're passionate about, and you get to enjoy these cigars that all of us, you know, who smoke cigars are passionate about. So it's really, really great.
Oh, yeah. And I tell you what, even our competitors, we're best of friends. You know, we all hang out. We love each other's cigars. And right now, I think it's a buyer's market because everybody's putting out such good stuff out there.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
there's a ton of good cigars out there right now.
Absolutely. And I got a lot of them in my humidor, so.
Well, we'll get to that question later on.
Okay.
So, you got anything for him, Mikey?
Well, I just wanted to, I mean, we'll start off here right into your cigar, Nish, that you brought out. And it's a twofold question. One, why the name change or the spelling change? It started out as Z-E-N on the samples, I believe, and then it went to X-E-N. And can you tell us how that came about for you to bring out the cigar?
Sure. We actually released it as ZEN at the IPCPR trade show in Las Vegas. And we were approached in our booth by people that make Zen, I believe, rolling papers. And they actually said, you know what, people might confuse your cigars for our rolling papers. People are going to come in to buy rolling papers, and they'll end up buying your cigars. So we kind of just looked at them. He said, you know what? We will sue you. He said, we've got it trademarked. And they go, we'll sue you. It's going to cost a lot of money.
Oh, boy.
So we said, all right, I'll tell you what. We've done most of the packaging. That's why it was released so late. We had to change it. We liked the name Zen, so we just came up with a different spelling for Zen, XCN,
Right. Okay.
which spells the same thing. That's how the name change came about.
Great. Well, sticking with the Zen line, Nish, we know it's the newest line that you heard. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's a box press Connecticut, correct?
Correct.
And is that the first box press Connecticut?
You know what? I haven't seen another box press Connecticut out there, but you never know. There's so many cigars, but I'd say it's one of the first box press Connecticut's. Because Connecticut is such a thin leaf, it's very tough to box press. So it took some time, and it just worked out great.
Yeah, that's a. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the Zen for people who may not have had it?
Okay, let me first tell you how Zen came about. Rocky asked me to create a blend, and I usually am a full-bodied smoker.
Mm-hmm.
I like a lot of Nicaraguan tobacco. And he said, why don't you make a Connecticut? And I go, Rocky, I'm not a Connecticut guy, so if I'm going to blend a Connecticut, I want to put a little Ligero in it. You know, let's make it a little unusual. Let's box press the cigar and go more towards my palate. So we designed this Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper. It's got all Nicaraguan filler, and I've got 2 binders on it, which gives it a little bit of a uniqueness. So it starts out mild, but it ends up with a lot of sweet spice, cedar notes, and hints of espresso. And you get it especially when you blow it out through your nose. That's when you get the power of the cigar. Because if you don't blow it out through your nose, you'll go, it's maybe mild to medium. When you blow it out through your nose, you get all that sweet spice, that cedar, the espresso. And I wanted it to be a true medium, maybe a little bit medium plus, especially the short Robusto. So that's what I was striving for. I call it a Connecticut with an attitude.
Well, that'll be something Mikey would like then. Mikey likes a more milder, medium body stick than a full body stick.
But you know what? Even the full-bodied guys, I mean, if you smoke the cigar and blow it out through your nose, you will enjoy that spice.
Okay. I'll have to give it a try. I'm a full body smoker myself, but I'll definitely be sure to try that.
Yeah. Now, is on the Zen line still, is that available right now? I haven't seen it in any stores locally. That's I'm curious if it's actually out there yet.
We just started shipping it about 9 days ago.
Okay.
Because we had to wait for all new packaging to come because of the XCN. So yeah, it is out in the shops now. You will be able to find it.
Okay. So the only thing
it's doing good. We've got some reorders for it too.
Okay, so the only thing that really changed, Nish, just to clarify everything, was just the packaging, and instead of ZEN, it's XEN.
Correct.
The blend and everything's the same.
Everything's the same. We just have to do it because of the lawsuit.
Okay, great. Well, let's see. Why don't you tell us about another line that I haven't tried and I'm interested to hear about is the Cargo.
Well, the Cargo it's a mixed bill cigar. That is something that we wanted to come out the lower end. We had an idea, like make a big chest out of it, because you go into most of these shops and you see these chests of these discount bargain bin cigars. So we said, let's give this a try. The Cargo is more of a medium plus. It's got a lot of spice. But the problem with Cargo was that wrapper was so thin that it started splitting.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got 2 binders on it to hold it together. I still think it smokes great.
Oh.
I mean, we do have a couple hundred boxes still left, and people are ordering it. But once it goes, we won't be making that cigar again.
Okay. Once it's gone, it's gone. That was correct me if I'm wrong, Nish. It was a pretty good price point. I believe it was like $4.50 a stick.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Well, that's why we released Thunder under my cousin's, which is retailing at about $5.50.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a full-bodied smoke, this cigar is fantastic.
Okay.
I mean, it's got a lot of pepper, a lot of spice. It's got hints of coffee, chocolate, and it just scored, I think, a 90 or 92 in Cigar Insider.
Nice.
Yeah, I just reviewed that myself.
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was good. Now, like Mike said before, I'm more of a mild to medium-bodied smoker, so
Oh,
it was full for me. But
yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it was really good flavors in that cigar.
yeah, it's a full-bodied smoke. I think it's probably one of our fullest-bodied cigars.
Well, I definitely better go out and try it then.
Yeah. And then we also released our 50th,
Yes.
and it's only made it to a few shops right now. The rest of the stores are going to get it probably the first week of December.
Nice.
And that one will hurt your pocketbook a little bit more, though.
Yes, it will. That's retailing $19, $21, and $22.
Wow.
We only made 2,000 boxes. And they're all numbered. It's got like 500 Zavorsky-style crystals on it. It's a sharp-looking box, and it's a great cigar. We've been aging that cigar for 36 weeks after it was rolled.
Wow. Nice.
So the stuff people smoked at the show is completely different after all this aging.
Wow. Nice. Well, Nish, what was the first cigar you ever smoked?
The first cigar I ever smoked was actually a Cuban in London, and it was a Partagas D. Not a bad cigar for my first cigar, right?
No, definitely not. I won't tell you what my first cigar was. I think it was a Swisher Sweet or a
Well,
White
I'm not counting a Swisher Sweet and all that. We've all did that, you know.
Yeah,
Give
the
the
first
tip.
real cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's definitely not a bad one at all. You got anything, Mike, you want to ask Nish?
Yeah, I was
before we go to the
curious,
chat room?
Nish, now I know Rocky is a huge supporter with CRA, and I was
Correct.
curious if you are in the same boat as Rocky, where you're a big supporter of the CRA, or are you gonna are you gonna separate yourself from Rocky to do your own thing with that, or are you just together?
No, we're together. In fact, our whole office is a huge supporter of CRA. We've spent 40% of our time to fight this FDA regulation. In fact, when Rocky's going up to D.C., I'm covering his events that he has to cancel because we feel it's really, really important right now. Without that, I think all our smoking rights are going to go away. We're going to be smoking air, you know, with them regulating how much nicotine in a cigar. We're not going to be able to go into humidors to pick a cigar. So we are very actively involved, all of us in the company.
It's good to hear.
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, you know, my local dry cleaner, I made him a CRA member, and he doesn't even smoke cigars.
Nice.
That's even better.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, you just got to go out and tell people your story and get them all involved.
Yeah. Yeah, Tom Cigars is on in chat room, and he says Rocky's done more for the cigar industry than CRA.
Oh, yeah. He's, I'm telling you, he's spending all his time.
Yeah.
In fact, next week he's up in D.C. again. We have to cover for him at a couple of events. I mean, he says, we're not worried about competition. That'll take care of itself. It's the government.
Yep. Take it
Because
away.
they can shut us down overnight.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Right. Well, and like you said before in the beginning, Nish, you know, you and all the other manufacturers, or at least most of them anyway, you know, you can talk, you can carry on, use your friends. And, you know, when somebody like the FDA comes in where the government's behind it, you know, it's basically they're going after a group of friends, and it's just wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're all really close. And just not Rocky. You know, George Padron's been up there. You got Jeff Borshevitz from Corona. You know, you guys get the guys from Ashton. All these guys are all banded together and fighting this thing.
Yeah.
It's what it's
a good thing.
Yeah, it's going to take everything coming together.
It's going to take time, and that's what it's going to take.
It is. But, you know, you still go out there and you go to some shops and you talk to these people and the retailers go, oh, somebody else will take care of it. And you almost have to get in their face and make them understand it's their livelihood.
Yeah.
And everybody's got to join in.
Yeah. I'm an ambassador for upstate New York, and it was funny that when I first became an ambassador, I went to my shops that I go to, and a lot of them didn't know about CRA. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, I mean, or they turn a blind eye to it, you know. But
Yep.
now more and more people are getting involved. I'm seeing the brochures. People got the CRA hats and the membership, but we still talk about every event we do. We talk about it.
Yeah, that's good. Well, let's take a question from Matt in the chat room. He wants to know, Nish, how long have you been smoking cigars?
I've been smoking cigars 15 years.
15 years. There you go, Matt. 15 years.
And I'm not counting, you know, the occasional one or two I tried before that,
Right.
but actually smoking cigars and enjoying them.
Right.
Now, how many cigars do you smoke a day?
Well, it depends. You know, it's between 6, sometimes 8, sometimes 3. But if I'm in the office, we're smoking 3 or 4 during the day. Then at nighttime, I'm smoking 1 or 2. And when I get home at nighttime to relax, I'll smoke 1. For blending cigars, it's a lot more, but we're not smoking the full thing. You know, we can tell what's going on with the cigar right off the bat, and we move on to the next one.
Right.
Today, this is my first one because I've been traveling. I'll smoke one this afternoon, maybe 2 more at night. So anywhere, 4, 6, 8. Some days I go with smoking 1 if I'm on a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to light up there, Nish.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, we've tried. Walking with a cigar in our mouth, people start looking, you know.
Yeah.
But I tell you, Atlanta Airport, you can smoke a cigar, and not in one of those cigarette rooms.
Really?
Up in, you take the escalator up, and I believe it's one of the restaurants, the Heineken restaurant, and you can light up a cigar in there.
Nice.
Nice to see some people still believe in free speech and freedom to have a cigar.
Right.
All right.
Well,
Well, I'm going to ask here about a cigar that I've actually had and I can actually get locally yet. The Valador for the NRA.
Okay.
How did that all come about? You were in with Rocky for that, correct?
Correct. In fact, it was a retailer out of Virginia, and he's a big NRA member, and they were trying to make a private label for the NRA. Well, the NRA picked about 6 or 7 companies to come up with some blends, and they sat down with all the companies, and we asked them what they were looking for in a blend, so we came out with the Valador. The key reason we wanted to do something with the NRA is to tie it in with the CRA. Because if we can get all their lobbying power behind us, that's huge.
Oh, yes.
So we get some of the proceeds of the Valador goes towards the NRA. And we're still working on logistics where they're going to be putting it in their catalog. Right now, we're working on a deal, which I shouldn't really be talking about, but where some of the proceeds will go to the CRA. So let's see how that goes.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, but the Valador, you know, it's an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper. It's got some Honduran in there. It's got a little bit of Nicaraguan, and it's got a little Panamanian in there. It's a good medium-bodied cigar with some spice and some, I'd say, medium to full flavor.
Yeah, it's a good stick. Now, is that something that's going to continue to be available?
Yeah, that's an ongoing line. We want to try to make it bigger and get the NRA behind it.
Cool.
Nice.
Down in Texas, where everybody's toting guns, you know, it's pretty popular.
Oh, I'm sure. Definitely down to Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They live for their guns down there.
yeah, they do.
Well, let's see, Nish. I'd like to ask this of everybody: whose cigars besides your own and your brother's? Who else are you enjoying these days?
Well, I'll tell you what. First, when my brother and my cousin and myself get together for the holidays, we don't smoke any of our stuff. We only smoke everybody else's. Because I tell people I can't eat steak every day.
Right.
There's so many great blends. And even in our office, I mean, our inside sales guys, I'll walk in the morning and they're smoking an Illusion or a Tatuaje. Me, personally, I've been smoking a lot of Ligas right now. I've been smoking, of course, the EO brand, the La Bamba. I'm more towards the fuller side of things. I love Illusion. I smoke some of Pete's stuff. Of course, Padron. You know, I'm a 64. My cousin likes the 26. I like them both, but I like the 64 a little bit better. I'm smoking the Jaime Garcia and my father.
Yep.
You know, so those are where I'm staying at right now. Once in a while, there's a San Latano that I smoke too, but those are the manufacturers I'm staying with, and so, of course, Lido stuff.
Yes.
Now, you said about Eddie's La Bamba. Yeah, he handed me one of those up at Cigar Expo or Cigar Fest, maybe Cigar Fest this year, and
Right.
I just got around to smoking it not too long ago, and I still think he made that blend just to try to kill me.
I tell you what, it's smoking good right now, but it is a fullest bodied cigar.
Yes,
And I think as a company, we're going to really be pushing that brand because I believe that's a really hot brand. So you'll see us coming out with more, goods for the La Bamba series and doing more events pertaining just to La Bamba.
Nice. Now, a little off subject of just you, but with Eddie Ortega and with him joining, I guess it was like a 50% deal or something with Rocky, and
Right.
you are distributing his products now. Do you foresee, are you going to be involved in more of the blending for his line, or is he going to still take care of all that?
Well, here's what's going to happen. We're not going to touch any of the existing brands. It's a great smoke. Pepin makes a great cigar, and the blends are great. What we are going to do is market the product a little bit, advertise it, get it out there, put some money behind it so we can do more events,
Right.
get the production levels up, maybe bring the cost down a little bit. If we do come out with a new blend, Eddie will be blending it, of course, and that will probably come out of our Nicaraguan factory because we got some great blends coming out of that, just to change it up.
Right.
If you look back at all our stuff out of Honduras, they're pretty similar. It's a little milder, and the things coming out of our Nicaraguan facility is so consistent. It's staying the way we want. We are aging our tobacco. We're 100% in control of it. So if you see, most of our new releases are coming out of Nicaragua.
Yes.
But to answer your question, yeah, Eddie is going to be heavily involved in the blending. Eddie and Eric Espinoza,
Right.
his partner.
Yeah.
Right. Well, sticking with that subject, Nish, how did it become about the relationship between you guys and Eddie?
Well, Eric Espinoza and all of us go back a long way. Eric reps our product in Florida, has done it since probably day one. He's one of our oldest reps. So he's also a personal friend, very good family friend. We're like brothers. And Eddie came into the picture being when they did the EO brand, we became friends with Eddie. At least I did. Rocky's known Eddie for many years, and they were always friends. So it just worked out great. We, in fact, tried to merge with them when they had Miami distributing the product.
Okay.
So when Miami started distributing it, they got the product and they raised the prices a couple of dollars a cigar. I mean, Murcielago was selling for $9 a cigar.
Yes.
So when we got it, the first thing we did was look at the cost and brought most of the prices down. But that's how we got it. We were friends first for many years.
Cool. I will admit that Murcielago is an awesome smoke.
Yeah.
It's a great smoke. And you know what? A lot of stores don't carry it because they go, oh, the packaging looks a certain way and things like that. But I go, just smoke it. You're not smoking packaging,
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think I've had one of every size of those, and I think every single size smokes well. It has great flavors. It's just really an amazing cigar to me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the latest Cigar Aficionado coming out, it did get a 93 rating on it. It's a great smoke. It's one of mine, my go-to cigars. I smoke one every day.
Nice. I'll have to visit you and visit your humidor sometime.
Oh yeah, you know what? You got an open invitation to come down to Florida, and we'll hang out at the office, and we'll smoke some blends. We've got a lot of booze in the office, and then we'll go to Burn after that.
Yeah, I was going
Ah,
to say go over to Burn. Yeah. How's that
Yeah.
working out? Are you involved with that, or is that just basically Rocky's thing?
But that's Rocky, but we're all involved in it because you go there, and Rocky will go, well, you handle it. You do that, but it's his baby. But we're there quite a bit.
nice. Let's
It's
see.
a fun place.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've got about 60% women in there.
Oh, geez. We're on the next plane. We'll be
Yeah.
down within 24 hours.
Absolutely. Come on down.
Let's see, Nish. Matt's got another good one here. He's on fire today in the chat room. He wants to know, Rocky and him, you do a lot of events, and do you see the events as an essential part of bringing your cigars to the market?
Absolutely. I think without events, you don't get a chance to get it in people's hands. I think there's maybe too many events right now.
Mm-hmm.
We like, at least when we go there, we want to make sure that a retailer is not doing an event every week, because then it becomes overkill.
Right.
You know, you have to have events be special, but it's a great way of getting a cigar in people's hands, getting good deals, and that is essential. It's very essential to growing a company and branding it.
Cool.
Keeping with that, then I'll flip it now. From going from doing events as an essential part, how about bloggers and people that review cigars?
I think bloggers are a big part of it, and we really, as a company, have really not been involved that much because we're technologically inept. But we're starting to go. I mean, we've got Patrick Bivolo in the office that's helping out. We're hiring some social media guys. Rocky's on Twitter. I mean, I start on it, but I need to just get on it more often, you know?
You got to check
And
those
I
DMs.
believe, yeah, exactly. But I believe bloggers are a very, very important part of it because those are the guys that are out there purchasing cigars, trying it out, and it creates excitement. People talk about it, you know?
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
Yep.
Yeah, I always looked at it even before I was in with reviewing cigars or in with Mike with this show and everything. I would read, Stogie Review all the time, before I was part of it.
Mhm.
It just seemed like it's also a great way for manufacturers to almost get free advertising.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? We'll take any type of free advertising we can get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's nice to.
But you know what? It's also. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was just gonna say it's nice to get a person's perspective from it who isn't like a high-paid
A magazine.
representative for a magazine or anything like that. It's just a normal everyday Joe smoking a cigar and telling.
Yeah,
you
you're getting a real smoker, and you're seeing what his palate likes. And you know what? We run contests. You get people involved, and they might try a cigar they've never tried before
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
using the bloggers.
Yep.
So essentially, yeah, there's a need for them,
Yep.
and I think it's a growing side of the business.
I agree.
Yeah, I do see how it's hard for you guys with the social media aspect of it. It's really time consuming. And with everything you do with events and blending and everything you have to do besides that, I can see how it can get pretty intimidating, really, at first.
It is, but you know what? Now with iPads and iPhones and all that kind of stuff, it makes it a little bit easier. And we're trying to. Rocky's on our case all the time. Come on, tweet. You're here, you're there. People want to know, and I want to know. I follow a bunch of them, so it's kind of fun. The only problem with me is after a couple drinks, my tweets get a little ridiculous.
That's the time you're supposed to tweet.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. People don't want to hear that I'm going grocery shopping,
Great.
So what can we expect from you here in the future? Do you have anything new coming out that you're planning, or?
We do. We're always looking. I mean, we've got so many blends that we've been working on. We are going to be coming out with the winter blend again, and we're going to make it really limited. We've got a really, really good blend. It's a full-bodied, but great, well-balanced cigar. We just smoked it last week again. We're waiting for it to age. We're going to release it probably late November, early December. And we're going to make, I think, 1,500 boxes, and that's it. So we're excited about that.
Now, is that
then next year we're coming.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's not. It's not the same blend, because the original winter had a Pennsylvania broadleaf wrapper on it.
Right.
This one does not. I don't want to give all the details on that cigar yet, but it's a Habano wrapper.
Okay.
And it's smoking full, and the packaging's great. The cigar is even better. So we're excited. That's going to be our last release for the year. But next year, we've got a couple new things coming out, mostly limited stuff.
Okay.
Now, do you personally have anything? Are you going to expand on your Zen line or anything?
Absolutely. I'll be expanding on the Zen line, and, it's not going to be a Connecticut. It's going to be more towards my flavor profile. But it's something that I'm working on the blends. We're aging the blends right now. Of course, Rocky always throws in his 2 cents in there, too, So, which is good. I mean, he's got a great palate. He's been doing it for many years, so it's always great to use his knowledge.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we are going to be coming out with some stuff.
Well, Nish, let's talk about the 15th anniversary and the decade are both my two favorite Rocky cigars. Is the 15th? You hear from some people contradict it. Is the 15th really just a kicked up blend of the decade?
No. Completely different cigar altogether. The blend is completely different. Decade is made in a Honduran facility.
Mm-hmm.
It's got an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper on it. It's got Honduran. It's got some Panamanian in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a completely different blend. While the 15th is a Habano wrapper. It's got all Nicaraguan filler, and it's got a secret binder on there.
All right. Yeah, I love.
In fact, the 15th is my favorite cigar.
Yeah, that and the decade. I love both of those cigars. They're my two favorite Rocky smokes.
Yeah, the decade. The problem with the decade was for a while, the Sumatra just wasn't there. You're getting light Sumatra, dark Sumatra, and it changed for a little bit. But right now, the decade's back on point. It's really good.
Nice. Let's see. Let's go into this. There's a new question we thrown in the mix here. We ask all the manufacturers because we're curious to find out what you think. What's your opinion? This is a two-part question. What's your opinion on the Cuban cigars compared to, like, say, a Nicaraguan and Dominican cigar? And do you think once the embargo is lifted, if it is ever lifted, what will happen to the industry once it is?
Okay. Well, I'm going to answer your first question, then I'm going to go into what I think about when Cuba opens up, which I think it will eventually. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but it will. Cuban cigars are hit and miss. Right now, when you get a good Cuban cigar, it's great. But I've just had bad luck with Cubans. I just don't find the quality and the consistency.
Right.
Some are plugged, the flavor profile's not there, and it's just kind of blah, some of them.
Uh-huh.
When you get a good one, it's great. I think Nicaraguan cigars are far superior at the moment.
Uh-huh.
They really are. But to your next question, when Cuba opens up, we're actually excited. I believe, and I think everybody in our company believes, and probably I would say a lot of the other manufacturers, I think the U.S. smoker has the most sophisticated palate out there. They actually, know about cigars, and they can taste them, and the palate is fantastic. While the Europeans, they've been growing up on this dry-cured tobacco,
Mm-hmm.
which is the palate. They like something milder. It's just not the same. And the U.S. is the number one consumption of cigars in the world. Now, just think about this. When Cuba opens up, what's going to happen? There's going to be a huge demand in the U.S. for cigars. Well, the Cubans right now can't even make enough for Europe and the rest of the world.
Exactly.
They're pushing it out. Stuff's not getting fermented right. You know, it just goes out. So how are they going to keep up with the U.S. demand? Yeah, you'll see a spike because people are going to want to try Cubans. Once they try it, and then they go back, it'll go back to the Nicaraguans and the Dominicans and Hondurans and everything else. What we're excited about is when Cuba opens up, you're going to be able to take and plant Cuban tobacco. You're going to put money in there to ferment that tobacco properly, but then take that tobacco, blend it with some great Nicaraguan tobacco, maybe some Dominican, and come up with some kick-ass blends. That's what's going to drive it. And also, when Cuba opens up, what's going to happen to all the workers in the factories that are making pennies over there? Yeah. They're going to go work for the hotel chains, the casinos, or the restaurants. So what they're going to have to do is train the Haitians to come in to try and work the fields and the factories and everything else. So I think it's going to be a big curve.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, and it's funny. It's the manufacturers that we talk to, and we've been putting this question out there. Recently, we started doing it because we're interested to hear what the manufacturers have to say on it. And right now, I think it's pretty well split 50-50 what you just said and what some of the other guys what they say, and it's interesting. I think it's gonna be a good thing per se myself, but what the hell do I know? But I'm looking forward to it.
I think so too. I think it's going to give us a chance to come up with some kick-ass blends.
Yeah.
So we're excited about it. We're ready to go.
Right.
That's exactly what I've been saying, when we estimate other manufacturers about this is I'm interested what's going to happen when people like yourself get a hold of Cuban tobacco and can blend it in with, Nicaraguan, Dominican, Mexican, Costa Rican, Panamanian, whatever you want to use. That's where I think the biggest hit is going to be where people are going to get to try all these new blends, with the Cuban tobacco.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Most of us guys are all ready to go, too. When it opens up, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
So you'll see them coming out pretty soon, once it opens up.
Right. Now, Matt has another question here in the chat for you. Are there any cigars that Rocky, you, or Nimish make tailored for the European market that aren't sold in the United States?
Yes, quite a few. Europe, for Russia also. I mean, we have, they don't like box pressed as much in Europe. And we do have a couple cigars. They're under our regular names, but it's a different blend and a different smoke. They're right now doing a lot of short Robustos. The Decade Round and the short Robusto is a full-body kick-ass cigar for Europe. But there is a couple different blends that we do have just for Europe and for Russia. I mean, Russia wants these full-bodied, and the Europeans are slowly changing. They want a little bit more complexity. But to answer your question, yes, we do.
I've heard that the European market likes a lot smaller ring gauge than most people here in the United States do.
Well, you know what? They do, and they like these freaking cigarellos like crazy. That's what they consider cigars. But they like the Panatellas, the Lonsdales and things like that. They're not the 6x60 guys. But I'm seeing more and more of the 4x54s, the shorter Robustos. That's really kicking up quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, in America, we like it big, supersize it.
Yeah. I'm telling you, look at that Digger, by Lido. That's selling like crazy. What is that, 7x70 or something like that?
Yeah, it's huge. Go big or go home.
We're coming out with one that's 70 ring gauge under the Thunderline.
Oh, what's that going to be called? Death?
Yeah, well, you know what? Don't know. Maybe Aftermath. I'm not sure.
Let's see. We got one more, I think, for you. Cigar Lifter wants to know. He said one of his favorite cigars is the Old World. When did you start making that?
The Old World was made, let's see, that was released in Las Vegas, and that was after Edge. So I'd say about 7, 8 years ago. And it's an interesting story. That cigar was originally going to be called Cargo.
Oh.
We're sitting around the office, and we saw one of these old Mouton Cadet wine boxes, that looks like a little Cargo, a little box. And so Rocky goes, let's call it Cargo. And we all look at him, and we said, no, stupid name for that cigar, what we want to do. And we saw that box, and there was our office has tons of liquor, so we started looking at liquor, and we saw this old map and said Old World Reserve. So we put the Old World name, and that's how it came about. When that cigar first came out, that cigar was fantastic.
Yeah.
That Maduro was on point, was delicious, and then it just took off, and we just didn't have enough wrapper, that Costa Rican Maduro wrapper we use on Edge.
Mm-hmm.
So it took a while, and like anything else, when you make so many different cigars, you sometimes get away from it.
Right.
And it loses its charm, or it loses the original blend, especially coming out of Honduras at that time. So right now, I think that cigar is back on point. The Corojo is actually smoking fantastic.
Nice.
But when it first came out, it was that 50-count box, and then now we made it into a 20-count.
Yeah, my brother-in-law just absolutely loves the Edge Maduro Battalions. He goes, that's almost the only cigar he smokes.
I tell you what, that's our number one selling battalion right now, and we're crushing it with that. I can't put a big ring gauge in my mouth, but I tell you what, that cigar is selling like crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty big. Well, Nish, I just put another question out to the chat room, see if they had anything else they wanted to ask you. We pretty well asked you everything we wanted to. Is there anything you want to say or mention before we end our session here? It went by fast.
You know what? I want to thank everybody for trying our new cigars, and I tell you what, we're coming up with some great blends right now. We're going more towards the fuller-bodied side, and stuff coming out of Nicaragua is great. You're going to find some new stuff. We're also coming out with the whole luxury lifestyle line. We're coming out with some really different types of humidors, different types of ashtrays that's going to be out in the market now in about a month or two, humidors next year. So there's different things that we're coming out that we're really excited with that I can't talk about, but we'll be leaking it out there probably in the next 2 months or so. And you guys will be one of the first ones to know. I promise you that. Well,
we appreciate it, Nish. We do appreciate it. And we're glad you took time out of your busy, crazy day to sit here and hang out with us. And as always, we wish you nothing but success.
Thanks. And I'll tell you what, if any of you guys, any of your listeners comes down to Naples, look us up. You're always welcome to come into our offices, and we'll sit down, we'll smoke some blends, and then we'll go out and have a good time.
There you go, guys. Everybody's got an open invitation. You just heard it here from Nish. So,
absolutely.
All right,
Thanks
Nish.
a lot, guys.
No, thank you very much.
Everybody know that the Zen,
We'll talk soon.
Nish said the Zen started shipping like 9 days ago, so hopefully you'll start to see that show up in your local shops, and you can
look out
pick
for
some
it.
up and give them a try.
Yes.
Give it a try. The packaging's great. The cigar is even better, and I know you guys will enjoy it.
All right, we'll be looking for it. Thanks again, Nish, and have a good day.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Well, that was Nish Patel from Rocky Patel. We want to thank him for taking time out and sitting here and hanging out with us on Stogie 411. And as you all know, just stay tuned. We're going to go off the air for about 5 minutes or so just to freshen up. Mike needs to do his hair. And we're going to come back live. We're going to have George Rodriguez from Rodrigo Cigars. We're doing a 2-show episode today. And this time, George will be live via video. So first time we had him on was just audio, but he's going to come back via video. So just give us 5 minutes or so. We'll be right back. We hope you all stick around because I think the next show, we're flying blind. We have no questions. We're just going to banter, shoot the shit, and find out what's new and exciting in the life of G. Diddy. So stick around, and we'll be right back.
I'm going to just drink more.
All right, guys, we'll be right back, so don't go nowhere. We appreciate it. Thanks.